ó yá tálára bá ti ń gbọ́ kó sọ fàjèrò tájèrò bá ti ń gbọ́ kó tàtà pọ̀ èso tí ọwọ́ àràǹgún àga bọ́rọ̀ tó gbòde ti gbẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀ jíjẹ lórí afẹ́fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde níbi tẹ́tí máa pàdé bá mẹ́tò kọ́láwọlé Idris Sule tòun tàlájà àbíkẹ́ akínpẹ̀lú àti balógun adébáyọ̀ pẹ̀lú pásítọ̀ Amos ọlátújà àti Tijani Alábí jàmájẹ̀bi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun tí a mọ̀ sí Tuesday aago 4 ọ̀sán ní USA Eastern Time tó jẹ́ agogo 9 àṣálẹ́ ní UK Time àti agogo orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá tí a ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde tọmọdé dàgbà ló láǹfààní àti wètò yìí nítorí pópún fọ́gbọ́n tó ń tòye tá a nílò lásìkò yìí gan ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde lórí ètò yìí bákan náà lẹ́ọ̀ ti láǹfààní àti máa gbọ́ òkodoro ọ̀rọ̀ ohun tó ń lọ lágbàáyé ohun tó ń lọ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà àti ní orílẹ̀-èdè gbogbo láì fi ipò mọ́yọ̀ rárá fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí tẹ́ bá ní àwọn ìbéèrè àti àmọ̀ràn kankan ẹ lè pe atọ́kùn ètò sórí +1 203 685 2961 tàbí kẹ́kàn sí +44 793 972 6080 bákan náà ní ẹ lè pe +234 706 787 2785 ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde a ò ní wá mìtì nínú olóríire àmín ìkéde ìdẹ́sítì gbé látọwọ́ ìgbìmọ̀ tó wà fún ìpolongo àpapọ̀ ẹ̀sìn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tá a mọ̀ sí Yorùbá Nation Multi-Faith.
Ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kú ìyálẹ̀ta. A tún káàbọ̀ sí ètò ti ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí tí í ṣe ọjọ́ 21 oṣù kínní ọdún 2025. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fún àǹfààní tẹ́nìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa rí gbà láti wà láàyè láti wà láàyè. Ògo Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ máa hàn nínú ayé wa. Àwa ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ àwọn Mùsùlùmí oníṣẹ̀ṣe àti àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì lájọ ń parapọ̀ lá ń ṣe ètò yìí ní ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé àárín wa ó tòrò kò sí èdè àìyedè láàrin wa ẹlẹ́sìnmẹ̀sìn kò ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin wa a ní ìfẹ́ ara wa a jọ ń ṣe ohun gbogbo pẹ̀lú ọkàn kan àti èrò kan náà. So a tún wá ní ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí fún ètò pàtàkì. Àlejò tí ẹni tó dẹ̀ máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí wọn ò kí ń ṣe àlejò ara wa ni wọ́n a jọ ń ṣe ètò yìí lójoojúmọ́ ni. Wọ́n jẹ́ ẹni tó kún fún ọgbọ́n tán kún fún ìmọ̀ tán tún kún fún òye ṣùgbọ́n tí àsìkò bá tó láìpẹ́ yìí àmọ́ mi wá Àbíkẹ́ pẹ̀lú ló máa gbé wọn jáde tán máa fi bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Orúkọ tèmi ni pásítọ̀ Amos Ọlátújà Brooklyn, New York ó ní mo fi ṣe ibùgbé ibẹ̀ náà mo ṣe iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ ìjọ The Gospel Faith Mission International ibẹ̀ ni mo ti ń ṣe iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ láì fi àkókò ṣòfò màá pe àmọ́ mi wá Àbíkẹ́ wọ́n introduce ara wọn wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé àwọn ẹ̀tọ́ lọ́rùn máa lò lé ní láti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n introduce wọn sí wa àwọn bàbá wa náà tájọ ń ṣètò bàámètò any moment from now wọ́n á wọlé wọ́n á dàpọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ ṣe púpọ̀ àtòkí ẹnjìníà wa náà ìyá gbóyàjò ọkùnrin ogun bàbá bébì tuntun adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àwọn ni Ọlọ́run ń lò fún wa nígbà gbogbo kò ní sún yín kò ní rẹ̀ yín o over to you mọ́mì Àbíkẹ́.
Can you keep that? What is your name?
Sule, S-U-L-E.
Yeah. Mo ti mú tara ẹ má bínú. Mo kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa ti òní. Gẹ́gẹ́ bàbá wa ṣe sọ, bàbá wa Ìmọ̀sán láti jà mo kí yín ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ kú déédéé wò yìí according to the time. Orí Amẹ́ríkà lọ́ọ̀ ni ẹ̀mí wà yín ṣì wà ní bí ọwọ́ ọ̀sán àwa ti wà ní ọwọ́ alẹ́ báyìí aago 8 ìlú UK ti kọjá fẹ́rẹ́. Àwa náà ni láti orí ìkànnì Motivate àwa lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde ti àṣálẹ́ yìí. Bá ṣe ń wá rè ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ ní ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun náà máa ń gbára wa nímọ̀ràn tá máa ń gbára wa níyànjú tá máa ń ṣèdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà bàlá la máa ń mú wá tí eléyìí alẹ́ yìí ó máa yà bàrá bá ṣe ń ṣe náà nìyí torí wọ́n ní ọ̀tun òun náà ni a máa ń yọ nǹkan wá tí èmi a fẹ́ sọ nípa ìlera tó dájú pé bá ṣe ń ṣe Yorùbá nation wa yìí a ní ìdí àlàáfíà a ní ìlera torí bá ṣe ní àlàáfíà tá a fi ń ṣe a gbọ́dọ̀ mójútó ara wa la fi yàgbàrá ní èní láti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìlera màmá wa tí a gbé wá ní alẹ́ yìí ni wọ́n kì í ṣe àmùkò fún ọlọ́dẹ àjọ wà nínú ìkànnì wa náà ni wọ́n kún fún ọgbọ́n àti òye wọ́n máa sọ kúlẹ̀kúlẹ̀ nǹkan tá a fẹ́ sọ ní èní wọ́n bá wa nà ní fẹ́lẹ́fẹ́lẹ́ ìyẹn bá wa fìdílé nǹkan bá wa fi nǹkan lédìí bá wa pèrò wọlé torí àìkò rí ọjọ́ mú solókùn àdẹ̀fẹ́ gbára wa ní àsìkò torí a fẹ́ ṣe ní kọ́mọ́kóbó kí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kó ba lè yẹra wa àfẹ́ gbára wa ní àsìkò ẹ̀dọ̀ ẹ dákun ẹ bá wa sọ fún àwọn èèyàn torí nípa fẹ́ gbójú lálẹ́ ó ṣe pàtàkì ó ṣe kókó torí àlàáfíà ó ṣe pàtàkì bó bá ṣe ń ṣe Yorùbá nation tá à ń lọ sókè sódò torí pa ní àlàáfíà ni àlàáfíà náà a máa jẹ́ wa Ọlọ́run kò ní fi àlàáfíà mọ́ wa a kò ní sọnù a kò ní ṣàìsàn àìsàn tí kò gbóògùn kò ní ṣe wá Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́ orúkọ tèmi ni Àbíkẹ́ Akínpẹ̀lú mo fi kalẹ̀ sí Ìlọba ní United Kingdom bàbá wa Ìmọ̀sán láti àṣesọ àwọn wà nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà bàbá wa bàámètò wọ́n bá ti rí àyà wọn náà á gbé orí wọlé láti introduce ara wọn ẹ ṣeun mo ti rí àwọn yẹn wa tí wọ́n sọlé lórí Zoom mo rí màmá wa Ọmọnìyí ẹ ṣé ẹ kú ìgbà gbogbo mo rí engineer evangelist Edward Fásìkò JP mo rí àwọn náà ẹ káàbọ̀ sà akínyín káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa mo kí engineer wa náà Lámìdí Àkànbí ọkùnrin ogun yágóyájù báwo ni iṣẹ́ ọmọ ń mu ẹ ṣeun tí ẹ tún gbà wá ní láti darapọ̀ wọn láti bá wa ṣe ètò ti alẹ́ mo rí àwọn ìwà náà ti darapọ̀ wọn lórí YouTube ẹ ṣé gan ni láì dóònà pẹnu màá pè àlejò wa wọlé àwọn náà ni màmá wa Chief Ẹ̀dà Modúpẹ́ Lawal àwọn ni wọ́n máa bá wa dání lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí kí ni ń fa ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru àti kí ni a lè ṣe tí kò ní fi ṣẹlẹ̀ that is incidence of stroke among our people and how to prevent it torí a rí pé ìwọ bá ṣe ń dàgbàdàgbà ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru kò sẹ́ni tí ò ní blood pressure ṣùgbọ́n àti wá rí pé ó ti wá pọ̀ jù ẹ tó wí wọn lélẹ̀ yìí àpárọ̀ ẹsẹ̀ rọ eléyìí ẹnu ti wọ́ kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ kò lè gbéra kò lè ṣe nǹkan kan ó dẹ̀ ṣe kan tó jẹ́ pé nǹkan yẹn a lè mójútó tí ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ tó fi níta wá di aláàbọ̀ ara tó ní pa wá di vegetable pa wá di liability síyàn kan lọ́rùn láti fi pé ó ṣe pàtàkì láti pe àkíyèsí wa sí láti dá wa nímọ̀ràn ìyẹn la fi gbé màmá wa tí wọ́n fi dá wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lálẹ́ yìí ní pẹ̀lú ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n mọ̀ wọ́n bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ bí ó ṣe jẹ́ báwo la ṣe tiẹ̀ lè mọ̀ pa ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru báwo la fi lè mọ̀ yí pé tó bá wà lára wa báwo la ṣe lè tọ́jú ẹ̀ báwo tẹ̀ gangan ni àṣẹ tẹ̀ ṣe lè súnmọ́ sàkání ẹ̀ tí ò ní súnmọ́ sàkání wa kí nìkan tá a lè ṣe ṣé oúnjẹ wa ni a máa jẹ ní o ṣé nǹkan kan la lè ṣe tó jẹ́ pé kò tiẹ̀ ní yà sí ọ̀dọ̀ wa tí àfi ní rírú àìsàn yẹn débi bá tẹ̀ máa sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣètọ́jú ẹ̀ báwo la fẹ́ dá sí i ó máa fún wa ní òye wàá náà sì máa béèrè ìbéèrè lọ́wọ́ màmá wa ní ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ ṣé gan ni so mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ pé màmá wa ẹ̀dà Chief M. Lawal ìyá ìwé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti alẹ́ yìí a kí yín lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ welcome.
Ẹ ṣé o ẹ ṣé olótùú ẹ ṣé gan ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan thank you so much because ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n rely lórí internet ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tó wà níbẹ̀ gan àbí kíní kò yé wọn wọ́n kàn ń kà they don't really understand it but mi ò wá mọ̀ bóyá ẹ máa gbà mí láyè kí n fòyìnbó kí n ṣàlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí nítorí àwọn tí ò gbọ́ Yorùbá so that kí wọ́n lè fún àǹfààní.
Kò sí ewu bó bá ṣe lọ tó ṣe fẹ́ flow tó fi máa yé wa the ball is in your court ma àgbà yín láyè ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́.
Okay. Ẹ káalẹ́ gbogbo good evening everybody.
Yes ma ẹ káalẹ́ o akẹ́yìn náà káàbọ̀.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you sir. Like our moderator have just said it. In Yoruba they said ìlera lọ́rọ̀. That means without health, without good health, if you have billions of pounds or dollars or naira in the bank, without good health, you cannot do anything. And they said ignorance is not an excuse. Some people, they are busy. Many of our people, they are busy working, and working. You know, even when they grow older, even when they get to retirement age, they still keep on working until they drop. Health is wealth. We should look after our health. We should know a stage in life that we must look after our health. You know, so tonight's issue is on stroke. So, and to start with, what is stroke? What do we call stroke? What is stroke? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we are
hearing you.
Can you
hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay. What is stroke? Kí ló ń jẹ́ stroke? I will be mixing Yoruba and English because there are some words we cannot say in Yoruba, but we can say it in English. Kí ló ń jẹ́ stroke? Àwọn ẹlòmíì kan sọ wípé àwọn kan ní ẹnìyẹn ti ní stroke o ẹnìkan kìnìyàn o. Our brain is like a computer. It's not computer, but it is like a computer. That is pé ọpọlọ wa ó dàbí bí computer ni. But kò kí n ṣe computer. It's not computer. Yeah. And we are going to specifically speak on stroke versus our brain. Our brain is like a compact that it is perfectly made. And there are some things there are some neurons in our brain that is controlling the nerves, the synapses, we call it. Àwọn nǹkan kan wà nínú ọpọlọ wa tó jẹ́ pé òun ló ń kọ̀ntrólù gbígbé apá, gbígbé ẹsẹ̀. That means in our brain, there are some, there are some organs in our brain that is controlling the movement of our hands, the movements of our leg, our eyes, our speech, everything. There are different functions. Everybody knows their function. It's all compacted in the brain. But this brain, for it to be efficient and for it to work, we must be giving it what it requires. That is number one. Number two is that, there is blood in our system. Many people just say, this is blood, this is blood. There are lots of functions of blood. And one of the major aspects of blood, the function, is to be carrying out the nutrients and the chemicals all around the body, through the brain to the leg, for numerous times. And as long as this blood is carrying out what is required, it will be so efficient and everything will be going on well. Until maybe you deprive it of the nutrients that it requires. When you deprive the brain of the necessary chemicals and the nutrients and the needs, that is where the problem starts. And meeting the needs of the brain is very, very essential. Even doctors too, sometimes they don't meet the needs. I'm telling you. Nurses, sometimes they don't meet the needs. So now, put it this way. As the blood is moving, they are carrying all these things we eat, including oxygen. And we all know that the head is the controller, the brain is the one that is controlling every aspect of our life, of our movement, everything. It is the brain that is controlling it. Now, this brain, it has the right side and it has the left side. Ọpọlọ yìí ó ní apá ọ̀tún, lápá ọ̀tún, ó dẹ̀ tún ní apá òsì. So apá ọ̀tún yìí ó níṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ tó ń ṣe lápá ọ̀tún. Apá òsì náà níṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ tó ń ṣe. In this brain, there are some centers. There are some pathway that is controlling the eyes, the sight, that are controlling our speech, the way we speak, the legs, the right leg, the left legs, the muscles of the heart, of the body. They all have their functions. They all have their different. So now, what happened is that the one by the right side, by the brain, we call it we call it the right hemisphere. We call it the right hemisphere, and the left is called the left hemisphere. The right one, the right brain, is the one controlling. It's like X, like this. Ó dàbí letter X ni, X báyìí. The right side of the brain is the one controlling all the left side of the body. And the left side of the brain is the one controlling the right side of the brain. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mú pen and paper and be writing things down, please. Please get your pen and paper and be writing things down, because I'm just going to break everything down for you to understand it. Now, I've mentioned to you that for the brain to be functioning well, it requires some nutrients, which I will tell you later. Okay, at this left side and the right side, the blood that is flowing that is carrying. What are the blood carrying? All the things we eat, including oxygen. They must be going through the brain for the brain to function. Yeah. So, but if you deprive the brain of the nutrients that they need, you deprive the brain from their needs, then there could be attack. There could be accident. That means pé tí ẹ ò bá fún ọpọlọ ní nǹkan tí ó need, accident lè wà. And that is what the olóyìnbó máa ń pè ní CVA, cardiovascular accident. That is, there's accident in the brain. You know, like the crash of the car, boom. Yes. But the way it works is that because there are electrical activities in the brain. Àwọn nǹkan kan wà bí iná ní sorry bí electric ilé ní ọpọlọ wa tó ń ṣiṣẹ́. Tí ẹ bá fún, if you don't give the brain all the necessary things, the electrical activities of the brain will shut down. Just like you turn the light off, big bàtẹ́ pa iná, ó máa kú ni, pim. And that is it. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti kú bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, tó bá jẹ́ depend lórí ibi tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí o, bóyá apá ọ̀tún ni o. Tó bá jẹ́ pé apá ọ̀tún ni, ó máa affect apá òsì. Tó bá jẹ́ pé apá òsì ni, ó máa affect gbogbo side apá ọ̀tún. So, nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn. Tí blood yẹn, tí nǹkan kan bá ti block yẹ, àwọn nǹkan tó lè fà á pé kí ó máa ṣiṣẹ́, the causes that affect it for it not to work, or for the accident, cerebrovascular accident to occur, they are the things I want to mention now. There are some things we eat. We call them plagues. They form like plagues, like clotty substance. You know, the sticky substance. Let me call it, because I want milky lamuju butter lajeju. That is something like cholesterol, fatty things. We eat them. We think we are enjoying them. We are eating them. Yeah, when we were young, they can easily break down, and they can be, the organs are still functioning very well, and the liver is still functioning well when people are young, and they will break things down, and things can be functioning, flowing very well. But when you overload your body with this food and stuff, so organs, beardo, like liver, that is transferring fat to sugar, or sugar to fat. When they are in excess, they are not functioning as they used to function before. Whoa, the liver yẹn kò ṣiṣẹ́ bó ṣe yẹ kó ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. Kò ṣiṣẹ́ bó ṣe yẹ kó ṣiṣẹ́. So àwọn nǹkan míì tẹ́ bá ń jẹ tẹ́ rò pé ẹ̀rọ ìjọ yẹn, bí ẹran jíjẹ, bí àwọn nǹkan, bí iyọ̀, bí nǹkan kan wọ̀nyẹn, gbogbo bí bọ́tà, bí ẹran, bí mílíkì, gbogbo ẹ̀wọ̀n yẹn, ó ti pọ̀jù fún ara. So ṣe ló máa gbogbo ẹ̀ máa sticky síbì kan, and as a result, it's going to I told you that the blood is flowing like in the pipe. So the sticky, we call it the plague. It's like the plague. It will just stop in somewhere around the arteries. Mute. Can you please mute anybody please mute everybody. Can you please mute everybody for us, please, so that they don't distract. So when sometimes they clot together, and it is difficult for the blood to be carrying them about. As they are carrying them all about, sometimes it will not be able to, they cannot move them any longer. So as a result, they get sticky somewhere. They get sticky somewhere, and when they get sticky, now they cannot, the blood, the amount of blood that is flowing will be reduced. And then that is what is causing blood pressure, because the heart is finding it difficult to pump the blood. The amount of blood that is supposed to is making it very difficult, very hard. Ó make ẹ̀ ní ìṣòro fún láti pé kó pump ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó yẹ kó pump lọ síbi tó yẹ kó pump. So tó bá yẹ kó pump ẹ̀jẹ̀ bí 100%, tó lọ ń pump bí 50%, you know, there is deduction, that there is lesser blood that is, and there are lesser nutrients that is carrying. So it is very important to be careful of what we eat. So another thing, tó tún máa ń cause blood clot yẹn, brain stroke yẹn, ó ní wípé another thing that is causing the stroke in the brain is that lack of nutrients like oxygen. If you deprive the brain with oxygen, it will just shut down. Wherever you are, you may be in the toilet, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter wherever it is, because the blood is narrowing up or total blockage. So what will happen is that it can kill that person, or it can just make that person to paralyze. So there is something we call DVT in the body, deep vein thrombosis. This different thrombos means clot. Thrombos means clot. When we have deep vein thrombosis, it is like the blood is clotting inside, deep inside. And that's why we call it deep vein thrombosis. That means pé tí ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn bá ti dì nínú, ẹ̀jẹ̀ dídì ló ń jẹ́ thrombos. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn tó bá ti dì nínú, kò ní jẹ́ kí ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn fò dáadáa, kò ní jẹ́ kí ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn kó flow dáadáa. And that is the reason why it's like, put it that way now, you put a tin or some things in a flowing, in a pipe that is flowing water. It will make it, and at a stage it will just dump it somewhere. That is the clot. That clot will be going, the blood can be managing sluggishly to be taking it along. But when it gets to a stage, it cannot carry it anymore. It cannot move it about anymore. It will just stuck it somewhere. Sometimes it may break it, and sometimes it may be stuck. That is the clot. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ dídì. No blocking. Yeah. So when it blocks it, like I said, the nutrients in the body and the nutrients that is supposed to be flowing to the brain will not go there. So that one too can cause stroke. Ìyẹn náà tún lè cause ìrọ̀pá ìrọsẹ̀. It depends on where it attacks, whether it is the right side or the left side. Bóyá apá ọ̀tún ni, bóyá apá òsì ni, òun ló máa determine. Because tó bá jẹ́ pé apá ọ̀tún ni tàbí apá òsì ni, tó jẹ́ tó wá fall sí center ibi tí, our body is bilateral like this. Ara wa, a pín ara wa sí méjì báyìí ni. And that is why a ní ojú méjì, a ní imú méjì, a ní àyà wa, ọyàn wa méjì, gbogbo nǹkan wa, ẹsẹ̀ méjì, ọwọ́ méjì, gbogbo nǹkan wa méjì ni. But what is, everything is bilateral. Our breast, our organ, our hands, our eyes, our nose, everything, they are in tutus. So it depends whether what is happening, where it attacks the program in the brain that it attacks, whether it falls around where the speech center is, or the voice, or the leg, or any organ, or sexual organ. It depends where it attacks, where the accident really attacks. That will determine the injury. Nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀, so result of nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn. And that is why when people slow, or when it happens like that, what do you observe in them? You notice that sometimes their mouth can be slow. If it attacks their tongue, they will be finding it difficult to speak. And if it attacks the area in the brain that controls the right eye and the right eyes, maybe if it is the right eyes, it means the cause is from the left brain. Like I said, it is X like this. Yeah. So, and because of that, that person may not be able to speak. If it is the eye, the person may not, it could affect the sight. If it is it could affect the right hand. So when it happens like this, the person will be slurred speech. On you know, and if you observe, nurses are trained. Some nurses are here. The nurses are trained to be observing people. But when you see that the face of that person is like asymmetrical like this, the jaw has dropped on one side have dropped. That is the symptoms that this person is likely to have stroke. Yeah, and that is the reason why we must be very careful and we must be very observant. Yeah. Another factor that is causing is hypertension. When your blood pressure is very high, you must look after it. You must find means of dropping it, making it to drop. Take whatever you can. That is maybe the doctor's medication or herbal remedy. There are lots of herbal remedies that can make that can, work quickly, efficiently to prevent it from happening, provided you are very observant. But what the mistake many people make is that they do not recognize themselves. They are just working. Yeah, there are some, there are some other factors that can cause the brain to stop working or to make people to develop, stroke. If it is even stroke, so it depends. It can kill some people. Ó lè pa ènìyàn tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ńgbà míì, because orí lòun ló ń control gbogbo ara. And see how when we don't give this brain what it requires, I told you. And another thing, cause Kini, they call it hemorrhagic obstruction. Hemorrhagic obstruction. This hemorrhagic obstruction is like a vessel in the brain. One of the nerves of the vessels in the brain is very weak, and the pressure is too much for it. Especially for people who are under stress. People who are working, who are under. There are so many things causing stress. I'm not discussing stress today because it's another topic on its own. Like insomnia, people not sleeping properly, people, stressing themselves too much. It can make this vessel in the brain, it can make it to be weak and it can burst, and the blood can gush out of inside the brain. You may not see it, but it is happening. And the blood, when the blood is out, we call something clots. We call it blood. It will clot. INR, International Normalizing Ratio. There is specific time that this blood will clot. And when it clots like that, the brain can have a kind of tumor. And that time, that one can lead to stroke. Yeah. So, like I mentioned to you, a lot of things can make the brain, and when it is like that, people will be feeling awkward. People may be feeling dizzy. People may be feeling headache. People can be feeling migraine. When you are feeling this way, you are feeling tired, it means something is wrong. So what should you do? You need to go to your doctor immediately. You need to go to your doctor immediately so that they can do MRI scan or check you and then take your full blood count. Check your blood and check the disorder, checking the clotting screen, checking the urea and electrolytes, the ions in the brain. They will measure the potassium, they will measure the sodium, they will measure the chloride, they will measure the ions, ION. I don't know how to say potassium and all this in Yoruba. Please pardon me. They will measure it. There are a lot of things they will measure in your body. And they must do scan. They must scan your brain. Don't just say that, I'm going to take a herbal remedy alone. No, they need to investigate and find out what has happened. Because there are so many causes of stroke. So they need to know what is happening. Is it in your heart that is clot, or it is, where is the, I have worked in the chest clinic before in Bethnal Green in United Kingdom. When if it is the clotting in the heart, they can still unclog it. They can remove it. They can make it to be dilating again. And, and that is why we need to be very careful. We need to be looking after our health from time to time. Because if you don't look after your health, health is wealth. And it can, like I mentioned to you, some of the risk factors are hypertension, high blood pressure. When it is too high, when it is high, you need to start to be doing something to cut it, to make it down. And let me tell you something. We use this electronic blood pressure. Yeah, you can use it, provided your heart is fine. You can use it. But when your heart is like not bleeping properly, there is a sequence by which a heart must be bleeping. It must be regular. You see, this blood pressure, this electronic blood pressure, it will not tell you whether your blood pressure is regular or not. Only the manual blood pressure machine that can check it for you. If you have cardiac arrhythmia, when we say like the sequence of the beat in your heart, it's not regular. It's like pa pa pa, and then it will stop, and it will go on pa 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 pa. Can you see that one is not regular? And that monitor you are using cannot measure that for you. It cannot tell you that. The strength, maybe it's like pump, 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 hard, pumping it hard, that you can even feel it. Under normal circumstances, the beat of your heart, when the blood is flowing normally, it should be smooth. You shouldn't even hear it. But if it's giving you warning, people don't listen to their warning. Àwọn èèyàn kì í kíyèsí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àgọ́ ara wọn. Even though it's giving them warning, it gives you warning, but you don't listen. When it is like pam, 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 there are different types of signs it will be giving you to show that it's pumping hard, but it is true. You're giving me hard time to be pumping, and that is warning. You need to go to your doctor quickly and do something to relax it, and so that the blood can be flowing back. But if you don't listen until you are saying I'm okay, I'm fine, nothing is wrong with me, okay, fair enough. When it happens, you and your family will be into it. If you have good family, they'll be, dealing with that. Diabetes too is another factor. I've mentioned heart disease is heart disease is another one. That's why you must not only rely on this. If you think your heart is not beating normally, don't rely on this electronic blood pressure machine. Use the manual one that will show the strength of the pump and how smooth it is, the regularity of it.
What she's saying is right or what?
Sorry? Are you saying, is somebody saying something there? Yeah.
No, sir. Go ahead, man.
Another factor is, I've told you, I've warned you that cholesterol, too much cholesterol in the body is not good. I'm not saying don't eat cholesterol. Don't get me right, because cholesterol has its own. The brain needs cholesterol. The brain needs glucose, sugar. The brain needs them, but eat them in moderation. Eat them in moderation, because the body that has no sugar, your brain doesn't have glucose or sugar. It can make you to pass out. You can go giddy. You can pass out. And on the other hand, when there is too much sugar, at the same time, you can develop neurological disorder, brain disorder. You know. So it's not that you shouldn't eat all this, but eat it when you are getting older. I mean, àwọn ọmọdé ṣì wà okay, system wọn á break it down. And láti ṣọ́ra fún sìgá mímu. Àìmọye doctors ló mu sìgá. Wọ́n ní kò mátà kí ni. They are advising their patients not to smoke it, and they are the number one smoking it. So when you are smoking, that carbon monoxide, and the blood is supposed to be red. And the red color will now be turning like black color, like brown or black gradually. It will be turning, the color will be changing gradually. So that's why we must try to avoid smoking, because the smoke in the body too is affecting the quality of the blood. And it's going to the brain too, which can make you have, the brain attack, the cardiovascular attack that you are talking about. Alcohol drinking can affect the liver. When you are drinking too much, the nature of our liver is tender. The nature is very tender. And when you are drinking alcohol, you drinking it, it's a habit, you have to drink it, you have to, it's damaging your liver gradually. And it can give you jaundice, whereby your eyes are red. Your eyes will be turning, discoloring. So that's why if you are taking alcohol, be careful. I will not say stop it completely. If you can't stop it, but just be mindful. Just be mindful don't take, if you can avoid, drink water. Water is the best. Drink water. Yeah. And then there is something we call I want to avoid speaking big words, so that you wouldn't understand. We call it transient ischemic heart attack. Transient ischemic attack. Yeah. When the blood clot that is going about, it's just got stopped somewhere. Sometimes that person will have, everything will stop. If that person can have stroke, but it can also break immediately. So that could make that person have like partial stroke, or maybe showing you the sign that you have had stroke. So if you are going through that, quickly the doctor will give you medication or injection to declog it, the plague, to break it down, so that your blood can be flowing again. Some people, they have migraine. They'll be saying, oh, they are having by the left. They say, they are feeling pain. That migraine pain. I don't know whether anybody have experienced it before. It's a sign to show you that your blood is not flowing properly. Taking paracetamol will not cure it. Believe me. Taking all sorts of cannot cure it. Go to your doctor immediately. Aspirin is very good. But for people who have ulcer, they must not take aspirin. Aspirin 75 milligram, not the 300 milligram one. No. I'm talking of the baby, we call it baby aspirin. If you cultivate the habit of taking it maybe 3 days a week, 3 days a week, or 3 or 4 days a week, it is good. It dilates. It makes the blood to be flowing properly. Yeah. And some of the signs, or some of the things, is that some people, another sign that it gives you is that sometimes some people, they eat too much egg, they eat too much butter, they eat all these things, and the blood cannot flow through the heart, and they can develop like crusty chest pain, that you will be feeling it, that pain, sharp pain by the right side of the heart, of your body, of your chest. And they will say, I'm feeling pain. There was a time I would not do. Want somebody? I mean, I did, and it's anonymous. That person just said, mom, because I mean, everybody come, mommy, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I said, what are you feeling? I'm feeling pain. Give me paracetamol. I said, wait a minute, give you paracetamol. You want to get me? What's wrong with you? I'm feeling this pain at the chest and my chest side. We are feeling pain at your chest, at your left side of your chest, and you want me to give you paracetamol. You don't know that is telling you that something nasty wants to happen to you. I'm telling you, you better hurry up now. If you have, I just mentioned some things to him to go and take quickly, first of all, and then rush to the hospital now, quickly, and go and buy this, go and buy that. And he did it. The doctor didn't give him immediate appointment, but what I asked him to take at least saved him till Monday because it was a weekend. So he listened. It's good to listen. But when people are so adamant and so, they don't want to listen, what can you do? So that is that. So angina is what they call it. When it's happening like that, it's not ordinary pain. It is called angina. So you need to prevent that. And they say prevention is better than cure. Angina can lead to stroke. Angina can kill people. So when it's giving you warning, you must listen to the warning that, the plague that I told you, we call it atherosclerotic plague. Like everything that has been, things has been, clocking together and just form like cannot move freely with the blood. So you need to be very, very careful, and you need to make sure that you check your blood pressure all the time. Occasionally go to your doctor to use manual, to check it for you. So because they said prevention is better than cure. What are the things that the brain requires for it to be functioning? What are the things that the brain requires? The brain requires all the vitamins, including vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, magnesium. Magnesium is good for the muscle of the body. And in the brain, there are channels in the brain, because you have got chloride channel, you have got sodium channel, you've got potassium channel. There are so many channels, outlets. Yoruba. There are so many channels in the brain for the neurons to be working. It is when your neurons is working, they will be sending signals. They will be performing their role. The one that is working with your eyes will be working with your eyes. The one that is working with your speech, the way I'm speaking now, they will be working perfectly with your speech. The one that is working with your legs, for you to move the leg, they will be working efficiently. And for efficacy of the brain, the neuron to be working with the nerves, so that you can be doing what you are supposed to do, you must give them what they require. You must meet their needs. If you don't meet their needs, that is your fault. Ignorance is not an excuse. When we are giving warning, Yoruba proverb, wọ́n ní tá bá gúnyán sínú ewé, tá robẹ̀ sínú èpo ẹ̀pà, ẹni tó máa yó á yó. No matter how we say this, we may be advising some people, they still close their ear. They don't want to listen. But if they don't listen, that is their problem. And I've told you, the brain requires potassium. You know what potassium does? Is that potassium, when you eat potassium, examples of potassium are banana, avocado, spinach, greens are examples of where you can get magnesium. Potassium. When you eat potassium, potassium drives away sodium out. Too much sodium, too much salt in your food can be damaging your organs, can be making your leg to swallow. I mean to swell. Sorry, it can make your legs to swell because it is written the sodium in your salt. It makes your body to conserve water. But when you eat potassium will be driving the sodium out. They are the two of them. One will be driving, as one is driving in, the other one will be driving it out. They are antagonists of each other. They antagonize each other. So that is why you must be eating more potassium and reduce your sodium. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat salt, but reduce the content. Reduce it to minimum. Because there is milligram you should eat a day. When it is more than that, it can make your blood pressure to be high. And all these things can lead to attack in the brain, cardiovascular accident in the brain. So it's good to be eating potassium, like banana. When you eat banana like this, you will see that you'll be going to urinate. Yeah, and it works with the other organs of the body as well. Magnesium is very good for you because it works with the muscle of the body and makes it, relaxes the muscle. So you must be taking it. It's also good for the brain because as you are taking all these things, they turn into micronutrients. You know what I mean by micronutrient? Micro is something that you cannot see. Micronutrients. They go into the form of micronutrients and goes into the brain. They all have the work they are doing. And if you deprive your brain from the necessary vitamins and nutrients and oxygen, you can start to be forgetful. And that is one of the reasons why some people go dementia or forgetting things. Yeah. So as a result, you must make sure that you eat balanced diet. Avoid too much cholesterol in your body. And don't say you shouldn't eat cholesterol at all, but minimize it as you are getting older. And reduce your stress. Reduce your stress. You need money. You want to do shifts in the morning and then finish the shift, do long day. The following day, do long day. The third day, do night shift. It's affecting your body. It can make the vessel in your brain to break and the blood will gush out and it will clot and it can, the person could end on the wheelchair. It can cause stroke. So let us be careful. Life is not about money alone. Let us have spirit of satisfaction. When you have the spirit of satisfaction in you, and be contented. Be contented. Contentment really matters. But people are never contented. I don't say you shouldn't work, but please, as you are getting older, please minimize because the way you can run about when you are younger, you cannot do that again. You can no longer do that. So my strong advice to you is to mind your lifestyle and do exercise too. Do exercise because as you do exercise, your blood will be circulating and everything will be working efficiently. The blood will be flowing and your muscle too will be active. Your muscle will relax. But if you don't do exercise and you stay for too long in one place, you are susceptible to blood clots. You can be susceptible to deep vein thrombosis, and that one is another killer. Unless you go to doctor and they quickly give you injection or put the medicine in your mouth that can dilate it, make your blood to be flowing efficiently. Yeah. So my brothers, my sisters on this platform, when you see somebody, you observe somebody, let us all be observant that their face is like asymmetrical like this, one that dropped. You know that something is wrong with that person. Don't close your mouth. Tell that person to go to doctor. Yeah. And then when the stroke occurs, it can attack the speech center, and then that is how the person will be speaking. It can even affect the ear, the nerves that is controlling the ear. It can affect it. It can affect your sexual organ. It depends, like I mentioned to you. So before you get into when the speech gets slurred, before you get to the time when you cannot lift your hand or leg, before you get to the stage of make sure you check yourself all the time. It's not a joke. If you fail to check yourself, you can be susceptible to it. Believe me. It's not a matter of I rebuke it in Jesus' name. It's not my portion in Jesus' name. It's nobody's portion. You don't look after yourself. You don't give the brain what it requires. You don't give them what they need. And you say the brain is controlling all your body, and you don't give them what they require. Yeah, it can happen. So like I mentioned to you, don't let 75 milligram aspirin, always let it be in your house. If you don't have ulcer, I am not a doctor. I'm not allowed to prescribe to you. I can mention to you something you should have in your home. You can have garlic. Garlic, you can have it, and you can eat it with potassium kind. Like you can eat it with avocado, which they call pear. Avocado, it is a source of potassium. Banana is a source of potassium. You can eat garlic. Can blend garlic with banana or avocado, and add a little bit of lemon, a little bit of maybe half a lemon. You can squeeze it in it. Blend them together like a mousse, and drink it in the morning, first thing in the morning, and drink it at night. It will work. But the most important thing is that mind what to eat, because all these things will prevent you from having a heart attack or stroke. Do exercise regularly. And those are the things I need to tell you tonight about stroke. I hope you understand all the messages I've been passing through. I hope people understand it.
You understood it very well. Thank you very much.
Is there any question? Yeah.
We really appreciate you, Ma. May the Lord continue to renew your strength in the
Amen.
mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So all that you have told us tonight, we will surely work on it. So maybe Mommy Abike has something to say. Maybe she has a question, or the audience. Over to you, Mommy Abike.
ẹ ṣé dádì adúpẹ́ gan ni tó chief mrs ìyá ìwé ẹ ṣé gan fún ti ètò ti alẹ́ mo rí bàmẹ́tò wọ́n ti ń gbórí wọlé kó tó di pé mo fún wọn ní microphone ẹ jẹ́ kí n kí àwọn èèyàn wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ ṣé tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa mo rí àwọn tí wọ́n wà lórí zoom màmá ọmọ nìyí mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí àwọn àbọ̀jìmọ̀ bóyá dádì àbí mọ́mì ni wọ́n mo kí ẹ̀yin náà mo kí Yomi's iPhone má bínú sí mi bá mọ̀ bóyá ọkùnrin àtòbìnrin ni mo rí my sister bẹbẹ má fàdòjú ẹ ṣé tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò lálẹ́ àwọn tó wà lórí YouTube náà ẹ jẹ́ kí n kí wọn ní kọ́wọ́n kóbó torí àpòrò ọjọ́ fún solókùn mo rí màmá wa ní ìníọlá ti bá wa tẹ love àti share button mo rí màmá wa mo dúpẹ́ èkó ti bá wa tẹ like and share button mo rí màmá wa Sampatis TV wọ́n bá wa tẹ share like button ní bàbá wa Bátúndé Ọ̀nàbánjọ wọ́n ní thank you ma màmá wa Fọláṣadé Òjó wọ́n bá wa tẹ like and share button màmá wa Sampatis wọ́n ní ẹ̀kú ètò àwọn bàbá wa Babátúndé wọ́n ní good job ma màmá wa Sampatis TV Koinara wọ́n ní people need to take good care of themselves and be observant of their health. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni màmá títọ́ lẹ sọ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe àkíyèsí ara wa ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ orí àwọn ènìyàn wa lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ tí wọ́n ti bá wa tẹ like and share button ẹ ṣé gan ni bí ẹ ṣe bá wa bá ètò náà lọ. Kó tó di pé wọ́n fún àwọn èèyàn láyè láti máa béèrè ìbéèrè, mo kàn fẹ́ fi kún nǹkan tí màmá wa ti sọ nítorí wọ́n ti sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ní ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́, wọ́n ti sọ nǹkan tó lè cause ẹ̀, wọ́n ti lè sọ bá a ṣe lè minimize ẹ̀ because bá a ṣe wà ayé tá a wà nísìnyí báyìí gbogbo wa náà ni ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń flow ní gbogbo blood ara wa láti brain dé èékánná ẹsẹ̀ wa. Wọ́n ti bá wa sọ òdodo, wọ́n ti sọ àkíyèsí tá a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe, ó ṣe rí gan nìyẹn, àti nǹkan tá a lè ṣe níwọ̀nba tí a fi ní lè kó sí àìsàn yìí, àti pé ká máa lọ fún ìtọ́jú lọ́dọ̀ dókítà wa lóòrèkóòrè. Gbogbo tá a bá tó rí kó rẹ̀ wá, gbogbo tó bá rí pé àlégbára àlégbẹ́sẹ̀, ó yẹ ká máa lọ fún regular check up. Tá bá ti tó age of 40 and above, ó yẹ ká máa wọra wa níran mọ́. Iṣẹ́ nìkan ló yẹ ká máa ṣe, ká máa lọ fún check up lọ́dọ̀ dókítà. Wọ́n á bá wa ṣe ẹ̀jẹ̀, wọ́n á yẹ ìtọ̀ wò, wọ́n á ṣe ìfúnpá wa, wọ́n á ṣe wéètì wa. Lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà bá a ṣe ń jẹ tá a ṣe ń mu, a mọ̀ wípé a tún fún mọ́ wéètì wa, ó tún pọ̀ sí i, àti ń tóbi náà sí yẹn náà tún fa nǹkan tó jẹ́ kí a ní blood pressure. Gbogbo èèyàn ló gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe àyẹ̀wò ìfúnpá yẹn là ń pè ní blood pressure. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti di pé ti wá ń kọjá tó já ó normal, ó lè fa stroke. Nǹkan tó jẹ́ kí stroke pọ̀ gangan ni pé àìmójútó blood pressure wa. Kálukú ló gbọ́dọ̀ máa lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò blood pressure lóòrèkóòrè. Àwọn àdẹ̀ ti sọ fún wa náà pé nǹkan tá à ń jẹ yẹ ká máa ṣàkíyèsí sí. Tó bá ti kọjá age of 40, nǹkan tá à ń jẹ nígbà tá a wà lọ́dọ̀ọ́ ní teenager, à jẹ bọ́gà, à jẹ ẹran, à jẹ bọ́tà, à ṣe tóòsì, à ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀, à jẹ epo, à jẹ iyọ̀, gbogbo ẹ̀ báyìí. Tó bá ti ń dé age of 40, agbára ò lè gbé mọ́. Ṣẹ̀mọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa àti wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹun, àti ikùn wa ti tóbi, ọ̀rá ti fún gbogbo ìfun àtẹ̀dọ̀ wa, àwa nílé ṣe exercise mọ́. Tẹ́lẹ̀ a lè sáré. Ṣẹ̀mọ̀ àwọn ọmọdé gbogbo wọn tó ń jẹ yẹn, wọ́n á sá sí wọ́n á sá sọ́tọ̀, tó wọ́n bá jẹun tán ní ìsìn báyìí kò ní jókòó sójú kan, á lọ òkè àṣìṣàlẹ̀, á gbá bọ́ọ̀lù, á jọ̀mpù, á lọ sí school. Bẹ̀tà wa láti ibi iṣẹ́, tá bá ti jẹun tán, á jókòó di tẹlifíṣọ̀nù, tàbí ká máa fóònù, àní lè gbéra mọ́. A máa rán ọmọ níṣẹ́, mélè ìwá, ìyẹn náà kò lè sedentary life. Màá ti sọ exercise ó ṣe pàtàkì. Sìgá mímu kò sí nǹkan àǹfààní kankan tó wà níbẹ̀. Ọtí ńkọ́, ó tiẹ̀ ní ọtí pé ìwọ̀nba ó ṣara láǹfààní, kò ṣara láǹfààní. Ara nǹkan tó ń fa stroke màá ti tẹ̀ mọ́ wa létí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣàkíyèsí ara wa, ká máa fúnra wa lásìkò, ká dẹ̀ máa mu omi. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa tá bá máa mu tíì báyìí, ṣúgà tá máa rọ́ sí àní àṣà àjàyè ká tó jọ̀run. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí stroke bá délẹ̀, nígbà apá kan bá ti lọ, tẹ́sẹ̀ kan bá ti lọ, ó lè máa gbégbẹ́ máa gbé tọ̀. Àìsàn tí ò gbóògùn ó tún kọjá èyí tí ò gbóògùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣàkíyèsí ara wa. Tá bá ti pé èèyàn kan wọ́ síbì kan, àbí pé èèyàn ti èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ garagara mọ́, bẹ́ẹ̀ sẹ̀ èèyàn ti ń tàsé, tó yẹ pé téèyàn ṣáà ń ṣubú lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀kan. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kíyèsí ara yìí pé kì í ṣe nǹkan kan tó ń ṣe yán. Lèmi à ní back to sender, not my portion. Ẹ já lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò ara wa, Ọlọ́run á fún wa lálàáfíà, àní fàìsàn ló gbà. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Màá dẹ̀ sọ pé aspirin tá a bá máa lẹ̀ make sure pé ẹ̀ ní ọ́sà. Tó bá yẹ pé tó bá fi apá gé, tó bá yẹ pé blade bá gé lọ́wọ́, tẹ́jú bá tètè ń dá, ó máa lo aspirin bẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá ti mọ̀ pé ara yín dá kélékélé, ẹ lè fi aspirin sínú omi kẹ́ ẹ mú. Ìyẹn náà máa ń ṣe àǹfààní láti jẹ́ kí ẹ̀jẹ̀ kó flow dáadáa ní gbogbo ẹ̀yà ara wa. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. So ẹ bá wa wá dá sí ètò báyìí. Ẹni tó bá ní ìbéèrè nǹkan àbí méjì láti bí màmá wa, ó tó di pé a mú ètò náà wá sí òpin. Ẹ ṣé gan ni, mo dúpẹ́. Questions, contributions. Okay.
Ẹ jẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín ní ẹ pé ètò.
Okay o, ẹ ṣé o.
A dúpẹ́ o.
Ẹ ṣeun. Mo fẹ́ bi màmá léèrè wípé ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì. A rí i pé lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì oríṣiríṣi ló wà níbẹ̀ tó á ní pé téèyàn bá ti ní stroke, tó bá ti ṣe kinní kan, ara ẹ̀ á yá gágá. Ṣé torí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì yẹn ṣé kò dáa ni? Àti rí ọ̀dọ̀ dókítà lọ, ṣe mọ̀, ibùkún nílùú òyìnbó, àsìkò máa ń pọ̀ ká tó rí dókítà. Nílẹ̀ wa ní Nàìjíríà gan, àròó lọ ọ̀dọ̀ dókítà, àti ẹ̀rọwó gidi ra oògùn gan tún wọ́n. Sórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ṣé kò dáa náà fún wa láti máa lọ ohun tó wà ńbẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ni màmá?
Kì í ṣe pé kò dáa, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn nǹkan míì wà níbẹ̀ tó jẹ́ wípé ó kẹ̀yìn ẹ̀wò ṣé bí mo ṣe ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ ń sìn ṣé mọ̀ wípé ó máa yí àwọn èèyàn ju wípé àwọn nǹkan míì wà níbẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé àwọn òyìnbó ńláńlá wà níbẹ̀ tó kò ní jẹ́ ẹni tí ò bá lọ kàwé ìjìnlẹ̀ nípa kínní yìí kò lè yé dáadáa tí wọ́n bá ń sọ ní ìsìn tó bá ń dárúkọ wípé atherosclerotic plague ní ìsìn báyìí tó bá dárúkọ àwọn
mo ló ń tiro ni.
so ẹni tó bá ń gbọ́ atherosclerotic plague bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó ń gbọ́ transient ischemic TIA transient tó ń gbọ́ àwọn big words kan yẹn ṣó lè yé ni kò lè yé òun la fi sọ wípé kéèyàn wá sírú ètò báyìí so that èèyàn á lè béèrè èèyàn á lè fi nǹkan yé èèyàn á break it down fún ní in a simpler way. Mo rántí ìgbà kan ní 2010 ní church tí mò ń lọ ní was it 2010 or 2010 yes mo ṣe ètò báyìí náà ní ilé ìjọsìn tí mo ti ń jọ́sìn nígbà yẹn Redeem ni so bí mo ṣe ṣètò yẹn tán bàbá kan báyìí bàbá yẹn Ìgbò ni bó ṣe sáré wá bá mi nìyẹn ó ní bó mo yẹ parí ẹ̀ ó ní gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ ó lé mi gangan ó lóun gangan ni mò ń bá wí bàbá rẹ̀ ní mo yẹ kúrò lórí ọ̀tá ó ní olóhùn gangan ni mò ń bá wí ó ní kí nǹkan bàbá ẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan kan ó dẹ̀ ní ok mo ní bàbá èmi ò lè ní ká wá sílé mi ṣùgbọ́n ẹ pàdé mi ní McDonald pé màá chẹ́ẹ̀kì yín mo yẹ chẹ́ẹ̀kì bàbá yẹn bí àti ẹ̀ ṣe ń bìtìrè atúndákẹ́ díẹ̀ o atúnbẹ̀rẹ̀ atúndákẹ́ díẹ̀ o atúnṣe bí mo ṣe ń gbọ́ nìyẹn o bí mo ṣe ń gbọ́ heartbeat yẹn mo ní bàbá mo ní there is problem with you o bàbá yẹn dẹ̀ mú fóònù nínú ọtí mo ní there is something wrong with you o and you need to kíákíá mo pè wọ́n ní ibi tí mo wà connected with ní Newham Hospital bí mo ṣe pè wọ́n nígbà yẹn ọ̀rẹ́ mi yẹn ẹnìkan bọ̀ o please help me to quickly attend to help me to connect that person with the doctor before it is too late. Bàbá yẹn kò lọ o. Bàbá yẹn ní òun fẹ́ mo ní bàbá you didn't go to where I asked you to go ó ní òun fẹ́ lọ bírèkì mọ́tò àwọn tó máa ń kágò mọ́tò ó lóun busy ó lóun fẹ́ lọ kágò mọ́tò. Ok mo ní bàbá mo tún kígbe mọ́ ó wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ nọ́ọ̀sì ní you are okay pé nothing is kìíní kan ni tó ti yẹ yín. Ṣé mo wí pé kò ju bíi 2 or 3 weeks tí mo sọ kìíní yẹn fún pé tí mo ní bàbá yẹn ó ní òun fẹ́ lọ bírèkì mo fẹ́ lọ kágò mọ́tò lọ sínú kágò lọ sí kìíní kò ju 3 weeks ó kàn wà nílé ni àfi ó kàn slow ni ó slow ni àwọn tó máa mọ bàbá tí mò ń sọ yìí wọ́n wà nínú platform mo yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ yìí bàbá yẹn slow ni bó ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ ó wà lọ hospital fún bíi oṣù mẹ́jọ kò rí ẹni kò mọ ẹnì kankan mọ́ he couldn't recognize anybody again àwa lọ ń kí ń bẹ̀ lọ hospital ń bẹ̀ àlọ ń kí kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ kò mọ ẹnì kankan mọ́ wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní treat ẹ̀ for almost 1 year gan ló fi wà lọ hospital gbà tó máa ṣe kinní kò lè rìn mọ́ kò lè gbẹ́sẹ̀ mọ́ kò lè gbápá mọ́ kò lè gbẹ́sẹ̀ mọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ ti kinní so wọ́n ní ṣé kò kí fún bàbá yẹn ní wọ́n ní but owó tó fẹ́ make yẹn òun ló so it's a good example for all of us. So ẹni tó bá tá bá gbìyàn sínú ewé tá ro bẹ̀ sínú èpo ẹ̀pà ẹni tó máa yó ayó so prevention is tiwa ni wípé iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tá à ń ṣe àgbowó lọ́wọ́ anybody we are not asking people to pay us to deliver this kind of educative enlightenment but depend people don't look after their health they don't listen to the warning so what else can we do ó ti wà nínú máàkì tọ́lọ́run wípé a ṣe àánú a ṣe oore Ọlọ́run ti tíì kí ẹ̀ báyìí fún wa so ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ tí mo kàn bẹ̀ yín ni wípé ẹ jẹ́ ká bójútó ara wa ẹ jẹ́ ká máa listen sí ara wa tí nǹkan kan bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa listen sí there is one medicine tó ń pè ní àbèrè is very good àbèrè ó korò gan but àwọn tó bá korò wọ́n lè má lè mú ṣùgbọ́n dàbí kan ti ń ṣe oní capsule ẹ̀ nísìnyí ẹ jẹ́ ká àbèrè ó ṣiṣẹ́ fún diabetes ó ṣiṣẹ́ fún láti break cholesterol down ó ṣiṣẹ́ fún ó ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe pọ̀ gan so ẹ má jẹ́ kí kinní wọ̀nyí wọ́n nílé wa ẹ dẹ̀ má jẹ́ kí garlic tọ́lóyìnbó ń pè ní ayu I'm sorry táwọn Yorùbá ń pè ní ayu olóyìnbó ń pè ní garlic ẹ má jẹ́ kó wọ́n nílé wa àti ọsàn wẹ́wẹ́ náà ẹ má yẹ kó wọ́n nílé wa ayu máa ń rùn funny smell but tẹ́ bá lọ́pọ̀ mọ́ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ tàbí avocado kò ní rùn púpọ̀ tó bó ṣe máa rùn so we can drink it first thing in the morning or last thing in the night tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ sùn kẹ́ mú bíi mousse kẹ́ fi ṣe bíi mousse kẹ́ fomi gbóná sí kẹ́ mú á ṣiṣẹ́ lára wa mọ́jú pajápajá náà I mean is another sign wípé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ò flow dáadáa lára tí pajápajá bá mú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló máa ń pè mí tí mo máa ń fún ní ìmọ̀ràn health promote tí mo máa ń fún ní health advice tí pajápajá bá mú ẹsẹ̀ èèyàn tó ń di kékeré is another sign wípé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ò flow dáadáa lára ẹ̀ tó and then tó bá ń tẹ ara ẹ̀ tó rí wípé pain wà nínú àgọ́ ara ẹ̀ ìyẹn náà fún ẹ ní sign wípé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń dì ẹ̀jẹ̀ dídì ó ti wà láwọn ara ẹ̀ so mo ṣe sọ pé ẹ má jẹ́ kí 75 milligram aspirin yẹn tó tẹ̀ ṣe 1 or 2 ẹ mú ó máa tètè máa jẹ́ kẹ́jẹ̀ máa ṣàn so kò ń ṣe pé ó máa jẹ́ kí cholesterol tó wà lára ẹ kó kúrò mo kàn sọ ní pé jẹ́ kẹ́jẹ̀ ṣàn but cholesterol tó bá ti jẹ àti fatty tó ti stick together wọn yẹn ó máa hard fún but tó bá lọ sí hospital wọ́n á lè fún ẹ ní oògùn tó jẹ́ wípé ó máa túká tó bá lè hard fún wọn láti ṣe wọ́n máa ó ní nǹkan tó máa ń ṣe táwọn doctor ẹ̀ máa ṣe surgical operation fún tó máa pass tube through through your right side níbi àgọ́ ara ẹ̀ níbi itan wọ́n pass tube síbẹ̀ wọ́n wá monitor ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú scope wọ́n monitor ẹ̀ lọ síbi tí heart ẹ̀ wà ibi tí arteries yẹn wà wọ́n fi dáìsì kìíní yẹn wọ́n pọ́ǹpù ẹ̀ wọ́n fa ọ̀rá tó ti dì yẹn atherosclerotic plaque yẹn wọ́n push ẹ̀ wọ́n dissolve ẹ̀ wọ́n fà jáde so ẹ̀jẹ̀ á jẹ́ máa flow padà so ẹ jẹ́ ká tọ́jú ara wa kó tó di tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ dókítà o tẹ́ ẹ bá ti mọ̀ pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ dókítà kẹ́ máa pòyì ọ̀dọ̀ dókítà kọ́ máa fi yín ṣe kínní ẹ tọ́jú ara yín please look if you don't want to be a friend of doctor you can avoid pushing pressure on doctors by looking after yourself eat what you are supposed to eat take the necessary vitamin ọsàn is an example of a vitamin C take vitamin A fún ojú àti take vitamin D take calcium take magnesium take vitamin B6 vitamin B2 all the B's they are good vitamin B vitamin K so vitamin K náà kò gbọdọ̀ pọ̀ jù lára because ó tún máa jẹ́ kí heart tún máa beat jù pí a máa tún pọ̀ sí kí heart tún máa beat jù so ẹ ṣe everything in moderation and if you play your own part hardly can you be sick or have any stroke the most important thing do exercise with it.
ẹ ṣe gan-an ni màmá wa a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín gan ni tó ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tẹ́ bá ní ìbéèrè nawọ́ sókè àbí kẹ́ fi sórí chat kí màmá bá wa dáhùn.
àmọ́ mi ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan mọ̀ wípé téèyàn bá mu míìkì jù pé ó tún lè fa ṣe stroke ni so àwọn kan tún lè máa sọ fún yàn pé míìkì dá a lára so kí ni kéèyàn wá ṣe dẹ́n mo tún fẹ́ béèrè téèyàn bá ń jẹ àwàdáwà láti Ondo state alákìíyàn òkèlè.
everything in moderation.
so ṣé gbogbo wọ̀nyí náà ò ṣáà lè fà á téèyàn bá dẹ̀ ti ń dàgbà àbí kí ni kéèyàn wá ṣe báyìí.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Number
ma'am.
one question is about milk, Abi. And number two
Yes.
question is about eating swallow food. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. You know what? What happened is that milk. I think when you are growing up, our body makes cholesterol by itself, and many of the things we eat even have cholesterol. It's not that we must not eat cholesterol, like I said, but just do everything in moderation. You see, this milk thing, there are different types of milk. There are plant-based milk, like almond, like soya, like there are so many of them in the store. Yeah, plant-based milk is very good as you are getting older to be taken, because your body cannot break down all this cholesterol thing. If you are taking full cream, I mean, full cream milk, or what do they call it? Full cream milk all the time. It can build up with the fatty substance in your body. It can build up and it can cause this atherosclerotic plaque. So it is advised because your organ is not working. They are not efficient as they used to. Your liver is not as efficient as they used to. Your kidney is not as efficient as it used to. Your pancreas is not as efficient as it used to. So when you are giving them too much things then it is your fault. You should change this in management. It's one thing that the people growing up, they lack. They don't want to accept that their lifestyle and their eating habit must change. They still want to continue with the old system, and that is what is killing a lot of people. People are just dying like chicken now. And the one that does not die, they develop this what we are talking about. They develop stroke. So now, but they will be debilitated, and they will be, their family, they will put burden on their family, isn't it? So milk, this animal source of animal milk source is not too good. I don't say you shouldn't drink it at all, maybe occasionally, but don't make it a habit, because it can make you go blind. Believe me, because the cholesterol they are flowing about in our body, they are in our eyes too. They are in our eyes. Your level of cholesterol is there. If it's too much, you can go blind. You can lose your sight. And by the time you lose it, nothing can bring it back, because the nerves have been shut down. Yeah, that is number one. It's not good. Take plant-based milk, please. When you get to the store, wherever store all over the world, go ask for plant-based milk. There is almond milk there. There is the soya milk and so on. That is recommended. That is number one. Then number two is your pounded yam swallow eating. Too much carbohydrates too is not good, because carbohydrates is something that breaks down to glucose, isn't it? To single sugar. When it is too much in the body, it can affect your pancreas, and it can give you diabetes. Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
It is polysaccharide. We call it polysaccharide. That means too many sugars in it. So when it breaks down, it can damage your insulin production. So you are damaging your pancreas, and you can develop diabetes. So if you want to eat it, maybe once or twice a week is all right. But when you want to, don't put it. I know, especially men, their wives, they try to satisfy them. Yeah, they will put a bowl of a bowl full of inyo, amala and these carbohydrates in the bowl for their husband, and they will put plenty of meat so that their husband will know that, so that they can say that, yeah, they are well looked after. No, that is not the way to look after your husband. Give him a little bit of this swallow and put plenty of vegetables like spinach, like for Riru. Not for, because if you put egusi melon in it, melon is cholesterol too. So be careful. You don't have to put egusi in your vegetable. And the salt too. Reduce the salt and Maggi. Some people will say, I didn't put salt there. I only put Maggi. What's the difference between salt and Maggi? Maggi is full of salt. So, but just put a pinch, little bit, yeah, to put in the stew for your husband. Otherwise, if you let there be too much salt, the leg will be, we can swallow, the hand can swallow, and then it means you have damaged the kidney. So when they swell like that, then you have to be, there's problem with the kidney. The kidney cannot eliminate the water from the body anymore. So now you are trying to damage your kidney. So I will advise you, take a little bit, maybe once, 2 or 3 times a week is all right. And then eat it with vegetable. We avoid meat, avoid ekpo pupa too, the red oil. Some people say ekpo pupa is good because you like ekpo pupa. You put it in your brain that palm oil is good. No, I'm not saying it's not good, but it's cholesterol. It is cholesterol. Try to avoid it. The best oil that you should be taking is olive oil. Olive oil is the best. That because your liver does not cannot metabolize olive oil. If you are taking too much oil, other oil like goosey oil, or it can damage your system. And epa, granite is another thing that is not too good. People love epa. They'll be eating it. It is cholesterol. If you eat epa and then later on go and go to your doctor that you want to do food blood count, you will see how your cholesterol is high. So try to avoid all these foods. And if there's any question, please feel free. I think people here knows my number. Feel free to call me. That is my own calling.
Ẹ ṣé o màmá, a dúpẹ́
Thank you,
gan-an.
ma'am.
Mo rí question kan lórí chat wọn. Wọ́n ní pé wọ́n ní téèyàn bá ń gẹ́ra ẹ̀ jẹ pé it's a sign of stroke. I don't know bóyá there's any.
Tí ẹ bá ń jẹran ńkọ́? Tẹ́ran yẹn bá dùn.
Bóyá I don't know, bóyá ẹnìyẹn bóyá ó ti ní weakness, bóyá ó wá I don't know, but that's the question.
What is the question?
Téèyàn bá ń gẹ́ra ẹ̀ jẹ pé is it a sign of stroke?
Biting yourself.
That is mental sickness. That is psychiatric disorder. No. That is mental disorder. That is not normal.
Wọ́n sọ pé ẹnìyẹn pé ó máa tún fi ahọ́n ṣe exercise kó tó sọ̀rọ̀ síyàn pé it might be a form of exercise to treat stroke. I don't know any scientific.
That is mental disorder. I have seen people like that. I have cared for them in the past, so many years ago. They will be biting themselves. They will, So please, that type is not what we are discussing today. That is another thing entirely. It's for the psychiatric doctor to see to that.
No, wọ́n kàn béèrè ni pé is it a sign of stroke? Yes or no? Ni wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀.
No, it's not a sign of stroke.
That's all they
want to get. It's not a sign of it's a psychiatric disorder. People eating their flesh. People even cutting themselves. People even they self-harm. They do self-harm to themselves. That is part of self-harm, isn't it? So it's a psychiatric disorder.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni màmá. adúpẹ́ gan lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ bá wa share program yìí lórí YouTube, ẹ bá wa subscribe náà, ẹ dẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa a máa ń ṣe ètò ní ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ kejì ọ̀sẹ̀ Tuesday la máa ń ṣe program láti dánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Yorùbá Nation ni ó mú adé eléyìí àti máa fún adá ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti wo bá ṣe nira wa lọ́wọ́. Àwa dẹ̀ máa ń gba àdúrà ní ojoojúmọ́ ní 11 a.m. UK la máa ń gbàdúrà yẹn tó jẹ́ 12 o'clock ti Nàìjíríà, ti àwọn Amẹ́ríkà bọ́ sí 6, àwọn kan bọ́ sí 5 depending ní nàìjíríà tó wà lamẹ́ríkà yẹn. Ìkànnì àdúrà ni àwa ni ìkànnì multi-faith táwọn ẹlẹ́sìn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta darapọ̀, Christian, Muslim àtàwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe la darapọ̀ láti gbàdúrà lójoojúmọ́ lórí ìyà tó jẹ wá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. A tó máa ń ṣe weekly program yìí tẹ̀dá tí wọ́n lálẹ́ láti fún àwọn èèyàn ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́, láti ran wa lọ́wọ́, láti gbára wa níyànjú. Àṣírí náà ní ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ a dẹ̀ ṣe máa ń gbàdúrà náà ní the first Thursday of the month la máa ń ṣe night vigil wa náà láti ran wa lọ́wọ́, láti àdúrà ran wa lọ́wọ́ lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ ṣé gan ní tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa nínú ètò wa ti èmi, a dúpẹ́ gan ni. Gẹ́gẹ́ màmá ti sọ, tó bá fẹ́ béèrè ìbéèrè, àǹfààní wà fún yín láti béèrè ìbéèrè báyẹn pẹ̀ lè béèrè nísìnyí. Àwọn tí wọ́n dẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa bá wa share YouTube yẹn náà sí wọn, ó wà níbẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́, ká tún gbọ́, ká share náà fún àwọn èèyàn wa, ká jọ jàǹfààní. Má jẹ́ ká fi ilé ìta gbọ́ lálẹ́, má jẹ́ ká fi pamọ́ fún ara wa nìkan. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fún àwọn èèyàn wa náà kí àwọn náà kàn gbọ́, kàn fetí sí, kàn fi lè ṣe àtúnṣe, ká fi lè mójútó ara wa torí ó ṣe pàtàkì. Àní ní rọ lápá rọ lẹ́sẹ̀, àní jókòó lórí wheelchair ṣe ilé ayé wa náà ràn wá lọ́wọ́, ojú kò ní tì wá, àdúrà wa á gbà. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Bàbá wa Ìmọ̀sọ́lá Látújà mo fà sí yín kí n tó pe bàbá Mètò ká tó kí àlejò wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé wọ́n ṣe tí wọ́n darapọ̀ wọn ní alẹ́.
Ẹ ṣé o mọ̀, a tún dúpẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí lọ́wọ́ àmọ́ mi wa tí wọ́n ti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ̀dẹ̀ ti bá wa sọ ó yé wa, so oore ọ̀fẹ́ láti mú gbogbo ẹ̀ lò Ọlọ́run á fi fún wa o. So a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ torí pé láti àkọléètì gbogbo ilé ìjọ kì í ṣe iṣẹ́ kékeré. So àwọn tó bá ń jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ bóyá oníwàásù kankan wọ́n mọ̀ kan tó mean kí ẹ tó lè prepare lecture báyìí. So I really appreciate yín mọ̀, Olúwa ràn yín lọ́wọ́ o. A tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹnjìníà wa náà tí wọ́n gbóhùn wá sí afẹ́fẹ́. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀, kẹ́ bá wa tọ́jú bébì wa o, Olúwa bá wa tọ́jú ẹ o. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa náà nílé tó wà lórí YouTube, Facebook àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ tẹ́ ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lénìí o. Olúwa ràn yín lọ́wọ́. Àtúpàdé lọ́jọ́ mẹ́jọ ìní lágbára Ọlọ́run tí Ọlọ́run bá fa bíbọ̀ wá sẹ́yìn. Ó tẹ́ ẹ̀ gbàgbọ́ ni pé Yorùbá Nation no going back ni o. So jẹ́ ká túbọ̀ fi ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation sí àdúrà. Ọlọ́run wa tó ń gbọ́ àdúrà á bá wa ṣe ní àṣepé o. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀. Thank you.
Màmá yẹn kan sẹ́ẹ̀dì pẹ́ṣẹ̀ kan sí mi, ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kà, ẹ má bínú. Wọ́n ní can argue cause a stroke?
Can what?
Argue, kéèyàn máa jiyàn, having argument. There are 2 questions. That's one of the questions. And the kejì sọ wípé does drinking water before bedtime prevent stroke?
Ẹ jẹ́ kí mo ní àkọ́kọ́ ni wípé the first one is that can
argument.
Yeah. Okay, let me ní kankan bẹ́ẹ̀. Argument, when people are arguing, if they are arguing over something with their energy, isn't it? You know, it depends on the level of argument. If you are like aggressive type of person all the time, you are every time you are shouting and you are you are stressing yourself.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I mentioned, that there are some things that can damage the arteries. Yeah, it can damage the arteries, the veins in the brain. It can damage it and the blood can gush out. When you are not happy and every time you are aggressive and talking, shouting, all the time, your body is not relaxing and you are always hyper all the time, it can make your blood pressure to rise. So consequently, it can attack your brain and make you to have cardiovascular accident. So that is that one. And the second question is?
The second question, does drinking water before bedtime, can it prevent stroke?
Water drinking is good. I will not say it can prevent stroke, but it is good for the body, for blood to be flowing properly. There is something they call erythrocyte sedimentation rate. What is this erythrocyte? Erythrocyte is red blood cells. Yeah. And our red blood cells must not be sticky. It must be flowing. It must be flowing. And what makes it flow is drinking water, drinking fluid. So when you drink fluid, your blood will be flowing properly. Yeah. And your kidney too will be performing its function efficiently. Yeah. So when you drink water, you know, erythrocyte sedimentation rate, will be fine. That is the rate at which your blood is sticky. If your blood is sticky, it can damage, it will not let your blood flow. It can damage your heart. And it can damage your brain as well, because you are preventing the blood from flowing properly. It is sticky. It is, it is very sticky. So drinking water, you are enhancing your blood flow, which is good. But I will not say that drinking it will prevent stroke, because if the underlying factor is there, unless you work on that and find solution to that, that one is separate. But drinking water is good. Yeah, is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are correct. Drinking water is good, but drinking water before bedtime does not prevent stroke. Otherwise, even waking up in the night to pass you won't have good sleep. Your sleep will be interrupted. So, job omi dára lára.
Yes.
Pàtàkì ni pé ká ṣètọ́jú ara wa, ká ṣàkíyèsí ara wa. Ẹran, ẹja ṣe pàtàkì fún wa. Àwọn ẹran wa.
And if the blood is sticky, it can also lead to stroke. If your blood is not flowing properly, it can lead to attack in the brain. It can lead to attack in the heart. You can have heart attack. So drinking water generally is good. But with your eating habit, we have said it all. You just need to listen to it. But because you love something, doesn't mean that what you love is what is good for your body. Eat plant-based food more rather than animal-based food. Because you see these days, there are organic food and there are inorganic food. These days, because they want a lot of food to be plenty, genetically modified food is too much, and they've injected some steroid in the food we are eating. They've injected steroid in the beef we are eating. They've injected steroid in your chicken, the chicken we are buying in the market. They've injected steroid in everything. And that is why all the animals are like big. And there is something they call zoonosis, the transfer of chemicals from animal to human being. Is zoonosis. So all this steroid they injected in these animals, they pass it into human being. I'm sorry to say, people in America especially, their own is like that is why you see many people in America, they grow so big. You will see them, many of them are big like this. So they eat, when they go to McDonald's, all this chicken they buy, they eat it, and they don't know that all these things are affecting their body. And that is why some of them have, this stroke or heart attack, or some of them just die like that. So even so, let us be careful and be watchful of what we eat.
Yes, Ma. In addition to what you have just said, Ma, I just want to advise that individual. Why should you be arguing on everything? By arguing all the time, it can, high blood pressure, and it can lead to heart attack. So if you know something, then keep it to yourself. There is no reason why you should be arguing. So if you know something, if somebody says something, if you know the right answer, then keep it to yourself. So God will continue to help you in Jesus' name. Yes. Argument
And
can
when
lead to
you
heart attack.
in addition to that, why if you tell somebody the truth and you know that thing is truth and the person is not listening, then leave him or her. You don't need to be arguing.
Yeah.
And when you are speaking, don't speak too much with anger. People speak with anger. People express anger all the time. There is anger in them. People are themselves, they are aggressive. And I used to have a permanent secretary in those days in the 70s. That permanent secretary is from Ikole. I will not mention his name. He's late now. That time, that man was full of anger. He's always fighting this, fighting that, fighting this, fighting that. Always arguing. I was almost, I was, he just died. We just had that PS died. So we learn lesson from that. I don't argue with people. If you think what I'm advising you, you are not listening. Okay, fair enough. Okay, no argument. Okay, that's fine. Just leave it. Let go.
No, Mr.
Release,
No. So
relieve burden from your heart and let him be carrying his, whatever his belief is. Yeah. The idea is Christian is better than Muslim. Muslim is better than Christian. Are you God? Did you bring religion to the world? Leave this world. You don't have to fight for God. You need to. God doesn't ask you. Do your own. Just have your own God. When it comes to argument, leave it and go through your own life. Whatever you want, the way you want to worship your God, well, it's between you and your God. So you don't need to argue over anything, for example. So that's it.
husband and wife that are arguing all the time, it can lead to divorce. So God will continue to help them in Jesus' name.
Don't have heart
Argue
attack.
with
Don't
anybody.
argue. No arguments.
Yes.
Nothing to stress yourself about. The world is a peaceful place.
Don't create a high blood pressure for yourself.
Àlàáfíà pàtàkì. Unnecessary arguments is not healthy for anybody. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o, a dúpẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí lọ́wọ́ gbogbo èèyàn wa. Ẹnjìnà àwọn lọ́wọ́ bọ́tìn Lámìdí Àkànbí Yágbóyájù. A dúpẹ́ o, ẹ ṣé gan ni lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Bámẹ́tò, akẹ́yìn náà o. Mr. Olú, Màmá Ọmọ́tóyè, akíyín, Màmá Ọmọníyì, akẹ́yìn náà. Màmá Mabel Fádójú, akíyín o. Láti Mọ́sọ́látùjà, akẹ́yìn. Màmá wa ìyá ìwé Ẹ̀dà Chief Lawal, ẹ ṣé gan ti ètò ti alẹ́, a dúpẹ́ gan ni. Ọlọ́run á máa sọ agbára dọ̀tun, kò ní sú yín, kò ní rẹ̀ yín. Àwa náà tí a gbọ́, kò ní sọ̀rọ̀ náà, kò ní rẹ̀ wá, Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Àdúrà wa gbà. Ibi la máa fi àgbàdá ti ètò ti alẹ́ yìí sí. Ìyókù tó di ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ ní agbára Elédùmarè. Ọlọ́run kó má gbà á ẹ̀mí lọ́wọ́ wa báyìí. Àdúrà wa gbà. Ọ̀kan ni a ó yájú o. Ó dáa, ó dìgbà kan náà. Bye for now. Ẹ ṣeun. Our engineer, thank you.
Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ kú ètò.
Yes, sir.
This video will help you understand what a stroke is and the risk for having one. Normally, blood vessels called arteries carry blood to the brain. The brain needs a constant flow of blood to get the oxygen and nutrients it needs to work properly. During a stroke, also known as a brain attack, blood flow to part of the brain has stopped. The most common type of stroke is called ischemic stroke. It can happen in an artery where a fatty substance called plaque has made the artery narrow. In one type of ischemic stroke called a thrombotic stroke, the plaque can break apart and form a blood clot that blocks the flow of blood to the brain. In another type of ischemic stroke called an embolic stroke, a blood clot forms in another area of the body and travels through the bloodstream. If it reaches an artery near or in the brain, it can block the flow of blood. When an artery to part of the brain is blocked during a stroke, oxygen and nutrients in the blood can't get to those brain cells. The cells start to die within minutes. A less common type of stroke is called a hemorrhagic stroke. It occurs when a weakened blood vessel breaks open and leaks blood into the brain. This blocks blood flow to the brain, and the leaking blood puts pressure on the brain tissue, which damages it. In a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, a clot blocks the flow of blood to the brain. But it's different from the other types of stroke because the clot breaks up after a short time. Transient ischemic attacks usually don't cause any permanent damage. High blood pressure is the main risk factor for any type of stroke. Other risk factors include diabetes, certain types of heart disease, smoking, high cholesterol, and having previous transient ischemic attacks. It's important to know these signs and symptoms of a stroke. A sudden numbness or weakness in your face, arms, and legs, especially if it's on one side of your body. Sudden confusion and trouble speaking, or being unable to understand others speaking. Sudden trouble seeing out of one or both eyes. Sudden dizziness, loss of balance, or being unable to walk. And a sudden severe headache. Call 9.
Ó yá tálára bá ti ń gbọ́ kó sọ fàjèrò tájèrò bá ti ń gbọ́ kó tàtà pọ̀ ẹ̀sọ́ tí ọwọ́ àràǹgún àga pọ́rọ̀ tó gbòde ti gẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀ jígẹ̀ lórí afẹ́fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde níbi tẹ́tí máa pàdé bá mẹ́tò kọ́láwọlé Idris Sule tòun tàlájà Àbíkẹ́ Akín pẹ̀lú àti balógun Òdúnifá Adébáyọ̀ pẹ̀lú pásítọ̀ Amos Ọlátújà àti Tajudeen Tìjání Àlàbí Ajámájẹ̀bi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun tí a mọ̀ sí Tuesday láago 4 ọ̀sán ní USA Eastern Time tó jẹ́ agogo 9 àṣálẹ́ ní UK Time àti agogo orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá tí a ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde tọmọdé tàgbà ló láǹfààní àti wètò yìí nítorí pé ó kún fọ́gbọ́n tó ń tòye tá a nílò lásìkò yìí gan ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde lórí ètò yìí bákan náà lẹ́ ó ti láǹfààní àti máa gbọ́ òkodoro ọ̀rọ̀ ohun tó ń lọ lágbàáyé ohun tó ń lọ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà àti ní orílẹ̀-èdè gbogbo láì fi ipò mọ́yọ̀ rárá fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí tàbí tẹ́ ẹ bá ní àwọn ìbéèrè àti àmọ̀ràn kankan ẹ lè pe atọ́kùn ètò sórí +1 203 685 2961 tàbí kẹ́kàn sí +44 793 972 6080 bákan náà ní ẹ lè pe +234 706 787 2785 ọ̀rọ̀ tó gbòde a ò ní wá mìtì nínú olóríire àmín. Ìkéde ìdẹ́sítì gbẹ̀yìn látọwọ́ ìgbìmọ̀ tó wà fún ìpolongo àpapọ̀ ẹ̀sìn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tá a mọ̀ sí Yorùbá Nation Multi-Faith.